Does the Helen Suzman Foundation have the mandate to act for suspended Hawks boss Anwar Dramat? Is the foundation convinced that he is innocent? Who, according to the Helen Suzman Foundation, is responsible for the illegal rendition of Zimbabweans? And why is the foundation worried about Dramat and not other suspended senior police officers? What time is it? It's question time. My name is Mpho Tsedi. Welcome to the show. Following Police Minister Nkosinathi Nhleko's suspension of the national head of the Directorate of Priority Crime Investigations, the Hawks, Lieutenant General Anwar Dramat, and the appointment of Major General Berning Ntlemeza as its acting head, the Helen Suzman Foundation headed to the courts to have those decisions declared invalid. Although judgment has been reserved, the foundation maintains that the minister's decision is unlawful. But why is the Helen Suzman Foundation worrying itself about the suspension of Anwar Dramat? Why him and not the others? My guest is the director of the Helen Suzman Foundation, Francis Anthony. Mr. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What are you doing in this matter?
We're not so much taking the case on behalf of Lieutenant General Dramat.
Yes.
We don't have a mandate to do that.
Okay.
What we do have is an interest in the question of the lawfulness of the minister's intervention. Now, the question of our locus standi was argued today in the courts.
Yes.
It was something which was raised by the minister's representative and which our counsel responded as well. Now, we've been involved in this matter for more than 5.5 years. This is the first time our locus standi was brought to the fore.
What do you mean you've been involved for the past 5 years?
In the first instance, we were involved in the Glenister case as the amicus. Yeah. Judgment was given in that case in 2011. Yeah. Before that, my predecessor, René Talliot, had been involved in the matter of the Scorpions dissolution and had presented in Parliament as well. Yeah. The Glenister case was a decisive case insofar as the question of the independence of the Hawks was at the centre of that case. Okay. We were the amicus and our intervention was decisive on that matter. The question arose in that case, does the Constitution require an independent corruption-fighting entity? And the court held that it does. Okay. So that's the first issue, that we've been involved in this for 5.5. If I can just carry on with that for a moment. Yep. The second issue is that when the SABC Amendment Act, the South African Police Services Amendment Act, came into view as a bill, we went to Parliament and we argued there again that what the Parliament had envisaged as regards the Hawks was insufficient, as inadequate as regards the Constitutional Court's ruling. Okay. At any rate, the bill was signed into law, and we immediately went to court to say that it's not compatible with the Constitutional Court's ruling on this matter. And we won, hands down, a full bench of the Cape Court unanimously confirmed our suspicions. It went then on to review in the matter of the Helen Suzman Foundation versus the President, and that took place, that judgment was delivered last year on the 27th of November. Okay. So there's been a long history of involvement with the question of the independence of the Hawks and the Helen Suzman Foundation. So it's not something we jumped into yesterday. Okay. Now, in this case, you have the suspension of General Dramat, right? And this is the matter at hand. Yes. There's no other person who has been suspended. In as far as, you know, the head of the Hawks is concerned, it is him. Yes. And therefore, taking this matter to court basically means, as your legal representative argued, that turning the clock backwards, you get to the point where Mr. Dramat has to be reinstated. Is that what you're fighting for? We are fighting for the question of legality. Now, let me spend a little bit of time.
And you would have to be very careful with me here, Mr. Anthony, in that I don't want political jargon and legal jargon.
No,
I want simple English.
Simple English,
yes.
Okay, I agree with you.
Yes.
We are concerned about the unlawfulness of the minister's action. It's not about Lieutenant General Dramat. It's about the Constitution.
No, but you're not being honest with me here. And on whose matter did the minister act?
On whose matter?
Yeah, he acted on on General Dramat's matter, isn't it?
He intervened and suspended General Dramat. Is that what you're saying? Yes, he did that.
Yeah.
But what we were...
If that had not happened, you wouldn't have been...
there wouldn't be a case here.
Yeah.
No, because General Dramat would still be the head of the Hawks.
Okay, so therefore, in simple mathematics, this matter is about...
Okay, I'm not allowed to do politics or law, you're doing mathematics. Okay. Now, the issue is quite simple.
Yeah.
General Dramat is suspended.
Yeah.
The basis of his suspension is unlawful.
But you don't know that, because you are saying, Mr. Anthony, you are saying you don't even have a copy of the documents and information on the basis of which the suspension was decided. So how do you know that it was unlawful?
Because the procedure he must follow, the minister must follow, was determined by the Constitutional Court ruling on the 27th of November last year.
Yeah, but that
was where the minister has erred, because he has to consult with Parliament.
Yeah.
That is the change to the piece of legislation. Now, back to that piece of legislation.
Yes.
I'm not going to make it difficult.
No, it's fine.
The court took a very unprecedented step of changing the law itself. It had already been sent back to Parliament twice.
Yes.
And the Chief Justice said, we'll fix the legislation.
Okay.
Now, that's unprecedented.
All right.
So, that section on which the minister is relying has been deleted from the law. So the question then is a question of legality.
Okay.
Was the minister entitled to suspend General Dramat using that procedure? Oh, no. And we believe the answer is no.
Okay.
And we'll find out later this week what the court will say.
All right.
On the question of the reasons for the suspension, there's a second issue here. So there are two issues here.
Yeah.
One is a legal issue. It's about the rule of law. And the other is a political issue. We are not...
No, there's no politics. It's just...
is it no politics here?
No. It's
are you assuring me that there's no politics?
Yeah, I mean, we are given legal documents here. This cannot be political. Unless you want to tell us something that we don't know.
No, I've just dealt...
Give us the political element, actually.
We're going to focus on the legal, then we'll speculate about the political.
No, I don't allow you to speculate. Give me facts. You were in court,
yes.
Mr. Anthony. You were in both, I guess, you were at the court that gave you, or rather that pronounced on the Helen Suzman Foundation versus the President
yes.
and Glenister.
Yes.
You were at that court,
yes.
right?
Yes.
You were also in today's hearing.
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember any of the judges saying that the minister is allowed to bypass the parliamentary hearing?
No, the minister has apparently said on record yes. that this issue has never been tested.
Okay.
So we're testing it now, and that's what today's court case was about. We are testing the legality of the minister's decision.
Okay.
And we believe that he acted unlawfully.
Okay. Do you think that General Dramat is innocent?
I don't know.
Okay. You just want him to go back to his job?
No, I haven't said that. That is for a court to determine his guilt or his innocence.
Okay, fine, but I'm just saying...
It's not for us trial by TV or trial by the HSF
okay.
or trial
but
by the...
for now, you'd be happy with him going back to his job?
If the minister has acted unlawfully, then everything has
Which you believe?
Yes. Then he must be reinstated, and a proper procedure must be followed to ensure his suspension, so that the issue of the rendition
yes.
of the Zimbabweans can be addressed appropriately.
Okay. I want us to take a quick break. When we return, I want you to tell me why you're only concerned about this case and not other police officers who have also been served with such notices only after the break. This is Question Time. Please don't go away.
With leading headlines.
Neither the American nor Cuban people are well served by a rigid policy that's rooted in events that took place before most of us were born.
Once-in-a-lifetime interviews.
Everybody was talking about Rolene Strauss and her chances of winning the Miss World pageant. Well, she did.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. Our guest today is the director of the Helen Suzman Foundation, Mr. Francis Anthony. Now, Mr. Anthony, sometime last year, I spoke to the Minister of Police, Minister Nkosinathi Nhleko, about this particular matter, which Lieutenant General has been suspended for. And I just want us to take a look at what transpired on that particular date, and perhaps we can then talk to that. There is enough evidence that shows that General Dramat did not only know about the operation that led to rendition that sanctioned it through the following ways, but also there's evidence and witnesses corroborate each other that General Sbiya was both at the scene and planning, and the meeting held between IPID and General Dramat on 2013-0307 confirmed that General Sbiya was appointed to head the TOMS, which created to trace wanted suspects. Right? Now, what more do you want, Mr. Minister, to act on this matter?
But we referred to a killing, and I'm saying the report doesn't say that one of the Zimbabwean detainees died on our soil. That's not true.
Yeah, but Minister, you know that those guys were extradited illegally.
That's what the report alleges, yes.
Okay, fine. Let's suppose this is not about murder. Suppose this is about any other crime. Why is the boss of the Hawks still in office?
Now, as I'm just saying, look, there are matters that are following up on this thing, and I'm not at liberty to disclose on them.
Can we get a commitment from you that you're going to act as you did with, as the SAPS did or IP did with the Mido
we will certainly
suspects?
follow up. We'll certainly follow up. On
Shall we get a commitment that you will act as IP did in Cape Town?
We'll certainly follow up on these matters. As I've just said, there are matters that have got specifically to be followed up on that specific case. And of course, a decision would then be made in due course.
That was last year already. Now, are you saying that under such circumstances, the head of the Hawks shouldn't have been suspended?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the procedure that was followed was unlawful.
Okay.
On the question of the merits of the case concerning the rendition, as you know, we did request the IPID report.
Yes.
In fact, I understand there are two IPID reports.
Correct.
There is a report which was submitted in December.
I like you for your honesty.
Okay. As I understand, thank you. There's a report that was submitted in December 2013, and then a subsequent report, we understand, that was submitted in March 2014. I have not had a view of either of these reports.
Okay.
We have asked for the IPID reports. We have not been sent them on the grounds of confidentiality.
Correct.
I respect that. We had also had a response to say from the minister's lawyers that the question of safety of people, of witnesses, needs to be guaranteed. Having said that and having accepted that, there are ways in which we can access those reports in terms of limited in terms of limited review.
Yes.
So that the council, the judges, and the applicants can review those documents and under oath promise not to reveal them.
Okay.
This is a standard procedure.
All right.
But we've been denied those reports, so I cannot comment on the content of the IPID reports,
okay,
either the December one or the alleged March one.
Yes.
So where are those reports? We can't review them. I'd hope that some of the matter would be brought into public view in today's hearings, but it was almost by default that the IPID report came and went in a matter of a few seconds.
Okay. Now,
so if that is the basis of the suspension,
yes,
leave out the process, then I think, as I had said, and it was a plea to the minister, please bring the public, please bring the nation, the people of South Africa into your confidence. And that has not happened.
Now, do you expect that each and every document that emanates from the security cluster, and in this case, let's talk about this particular issue.
Yes.
Such documents should just be made available willy-nilly, if I may use the term?
No, I'm not asking them to be made available willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I'm asking that where a respectable foundation, which has been involved in this matter for 5.5 years and longer, requests information, that we, at least our letters are acknowledged, our responses evaluated in terms of what we are trying to do. The minister is not unaware of our own role in this. We did sue him last year, along with the president, and the court did find in our favour. So we're not the willy-nilly organisation.
You would appear to me that you are a well-meaning foundation which is concerned about the security and the image of the country.
And the viability of our constitutional democracy. That is our mandate, to protect it, to defend it, and to promote it.
So you're still opposed to the appointment of General Ntlemesa as the acting head?
I'm not opposed to his appointment. I'm arguing that the suspension of General Dramat was unlawful, and all that comes after that suspension must be set aside, and we argued that today in court.
Okay. And it's, are you behind this, what the Hawks spokesperson, Brigadier Angwan Muraudzi, called some malicious and baseless accusations that have been labelled against General Ntlemesa?
I wouldn't know. I don't know what those baseless accusations are.
That he's not fit, he's got skeletons and all that?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. So you consider him to be clean?
I didn't say that either. It's just that we haven't addressed that issue in our court papers. It wasn't argued in court. We've got to have a factual basis for this. One of the worst things that has happened around this matter is that we've tried to focus on the facts, on the legalities, on the processes, and then lots of people are trying to make politics out of this, which is fair enough.
I want us to talk about those politics only after the break, because it seems there is a lot of politics involved. This is question time. Please don't go away.
Cultures of Africa, though similar in some ways, are colorful and diverse.
We explore the rich culture, dance and dress of the Tanzanian people of the Mtwara region.
The dance that they're performing is what you will find in the village. And it's not just a paid gig, it's something they do, they enjoy.
Mtwara's late development has left it with a rich reservoir of empirical knowledge of a purer African life.
For whatever the reasons are, it's one of the last areas of the country to develop, and thus traditional arts and traditional culture.
That's Kaleidoscope, Sundays, 5:30 p.m. on SABC News.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest today is the director of the Helen Suzman Foundation. Dr. Francis Anthony now. Dr. Anthony, General Dramat has been, or rather, it's reported, that he is to meet with the Minister of Police to try and seek a nice way out. Now, what is going to happen to you if he settles with the Minister?
This is information that you have, which is factually based, that the meeting is going to take place, has taken place, or is about to take place.
Okay.
It's not clear. I've heard about these reports as well. One of the reports was, that came my way, again hearsay, was that the meeting was scheduled for this morning at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Our court case began at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
I understand that that meeting didn't take place, so it may be scheduled for some other time.
Okay.
I'm not interested in Mr. General Dramat's retirement plans. I'm interested in the legality around ministerial and executive action.
Okay. In this case, though, if he settles with the Minister, what happens?
There's a problem
because
here.
You won't have a case.
No. Our case is about what the Minister is allowed to do in terms of the Constitution.
Okay. Suppose this gentleman...
Whether it's about General Dramat or his successor.
Yes.
The same rules, the same laws will apply, and the same procedures must apply.
Okay.
So we still have a case. Because our case, as I keep on emphasizing, is not about General Dramat.
Are you in talks with General Dramat?
I have never spoken to General Dramat.
Are your lawyers in contact with him?
I presume they will be.
Why?
Because lawyers do, because we are actually suing, and this may come as a surprise, we are also actually suing General Dramat. He's the second respondent.
Why are you suing him?
Because he's a party to the case, as is the acting head of the Hawks.
So you're saying he shouldn't have allowed himself to be suspended?
No. As is the Commissioner of Police. You cover the bases in a litigation like that. I understand...
Is he not the victim?
Are you saying he is?
I'm asking a question.
No, at this moment he's a respondent in the Helen Suzman Foundation's case.
No,
he's the second respondent, in fact.
Yeah, but in the matter, according to your analogy, is he not a victim as well?
He may very well be a victim.
So you're suing a victim?
No, he may be a victim of somebody else's unlawfulness.
Okay.
But he's not a victim of the Helen Suzman Foundation.
Okay. What is your impression about the state of police in South Africa?
You asked an earlier question about why did we only take up his case. Because this is the case which so clearly and flagrantly violates what we understand as the Constitutional Court's ruling. I'm not unaware of General Boyson's suspension, and he's going to the courts. I'm not unaware of General Sabia's suspension.
Yes.
So there's a part of me that says, what is going on with the Hawks when two provincial heads are suspended? Is there wrongdoing there? And is the procedure that has been followed the correct procedure?
Okay, let's leave those.
Yeah.
For instance, look at the Crime Intelligence Division.
Yes.
You've got General Ngobo, he's suspended. General Zulu, he's also suspended.
Yes.
You say you're concerned about the state of security and the reputation, you know,
no, you said that.
Public's confidence. I mean, there's a lot that has been said around that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you also be concerned about such?
We are concerned.
Okay.
But we don't have the capacity to tackle broad policing issues.
No, but
we have the capacity.
One
moment. We have the capacity to focus on governance issues. We have the capacity to focus on how things are being done.
Yeah, but doesn't it affect governance?
Governance within the police, yes. And when we have the capacity and the funds, we will...
I'm sure you have enough money. I mean, to take up this type of a case, it surely should be taking quite a bit from your coffers. What are your impressions about the National Commissioner, Ria Pierre? Are you happy with her? Is she doing good? Or are you about to take her to court as well?
It's not as... we don't litigate that often. Okay. And our Board of Trustees is very wary about us just running off into the courts all the time. But where there seems to be something which we've been involved in for many years, and which we believe is unlawful, then they give us the permission to go to court.
Does the foundation have any political links to the Democratic Alliance?
No.
Do members of the trustees, board of trustees within the foundation belong to some political parties?
I've never questioned their political adherence, excepting in the case of two trustees. One, the late Colin Eglin, who was a founder member of the foundation in 1993, who had been a DP MP.
Okay. I'm going to invite you again, probably after Friday, once we have heard what the courts have to say about this matter. Yeah. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you.
That was Question Time for today. Have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye.